All right, guys, so we got to talk about what's currently going on in Gaza and Israel. Man, it has been nonstop, wall-to-wall genocide for so long now. And, you know, what's really disheartening is that seemingly for the first maybe 5 months or so, everybody had their eyeballs glued to it. Everybody was following every single update that came out of there. And there was this real sense of underlying outrage. And just the humanity of people was showing that they were like, this is unacceptable. This has got to stop. The world's got to take action, etc. Right? And I could say, just from doing this show firsthand, you noticed within the first 5 months or so, as we covered every single update, people wouldn't stop watching. They couldn't stop watching. They were just, they were glued to it, and they wanted to know what was happening, and they wanted, you know, to stop it. And then as time has gone on, it really says something dark about the human psyche. Like, people could just sort of get used to horrible things if they're consistent, right? And then it just wasn't as big of a story, and people weren't talking about it as much, and there wasn't as much outrage, and it's almost like people just baked into the cake of their mind that, yeah, Netanyahu and Israel are fucking vicious, fascist, genocidal freaks, and the Palestinians are innocent victims who are being slaughtered, and that's just how it is, and what can we even do about it? Like, that seems to be the perspective, and that's very disturbing, right? That's very disturbing, because you can never stop fighting for justice, stop fighting for what's right, give up, right? Because then they win. Then the bad guys win. That's the last thing I want, is the fucking bad guys to win. So let's go through. Now it is official. Israel is even openly sort of acknowledging, yeah, we're stealing Gaza. We're starting to steal Gaza right now. Okay, but I'm going to walk you through this article here. I want you to take note of how weaselly the language is in this media outlet. And this is Sky News, by the way. Weaselly language. And this is also part of the problem with what's been going on, is that there is a sanitized nature to it in the West, in the U.S. Like, there's a sanitized language where when Israelis are victims, they use very emotive language, very over-the-top language. This is terrorism, this is brutal, this is barbaric, this is savage, etc. But when it's Palestinian victims, it's everything is seeped of its humanity, seeped of the emotive language. A blast took 17 lives, the Gaza Health Ministry says. Like, they always take the teeth out of it, right? So keep that in mind. Since I said that, keep that in mind for this article. Ready? Here we go. Netanyahu says Israel establishing new security corridor in Gaza to, quote, pressure Hamas, and plans to seize large areas. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his troops are seizing an area he called the Morag Axis, a reference to a former Israeli settlement previously located in an area between Rafah and Khan Yunis. So let me break down this title for you in layman's terms. Netanyahu says Israel will annex parts of Gaza and will finish the ethnic cleansing. Like, that's what's actually happening. That's what the title should be. But notice how they sanitized it. They make it sound official, right? We're establishing a new security corridor. What does that mean? By stealing more of their land. Motherfucker. Okay, here we go. Israel is establishing a new security corridor across Gaza, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced, as his country plans to seize large areas of Palestinian territory. Mr. Netanyahu said Israel was increasing the pressure on Hamas as it demands the militant group return dozens of remaining hostages taken in the October 7th attack. This is getting so tiresome, man. Bro, a deal for the hostages was always on the table. You just had to stop doing your genocide. And you refused to actually stop the genocide. But they're framing this for Western audiences along the lines of, the reason why we're going to steal a lot of territory in Gaza now and take it and annex it and build on it, the reason we're going to do that is because of the hostages or something. It's so lazy. I don't know how the person who wrote this article, how can you write that in good conscience, man? He said his troops were seizing an area he called the Morag Axis, a reference to a former Israeli settlement previously located in an area between the two southern cities of Rafah and Khan Yunis. Mr. Netanyahu said in a video message that we are now dividing the strip and we are increasing pressure step by step so they will give us our hostages. Remember, this is just the cover story for the West. By the way, one of the things which is fascinating is when Netanyahu is giving a domestic address to the people of Israel, he'll speak in Hebrew, and he will let it all hang the fuck out. He will actually tell the truth about what they're doing. When he speaks to Western audiences, it's all couched. It's all softened. It's a security corridor. We're not stealing parts of Gaza. It's a security corridor. We're just trying to put pressure to get our hostages back. None of that shit is true, bro. They're just annexing Gaza. That's all they're doing. The prime minister said the move, which would cut off Rafah from Khan Yunis, would give Israel control of a second axis in southern Gaza. That is in addition to the Philadelphia corridor running along the border with Egypt, which Israel sees as a key line stopping weapons being smuggled into Gaza. Enter Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, said his country was beginning a major expansion of its military operation in the Strip, and there would be a large-scale evacuation of the Palestinian population from fighting areas. Let me repeat that. There would be a large-scale evacuation of the Palestinian population from fighting areas. Another way of saying that is, we are doing the ethnic cleansing. They did the genocide, the endless bombing. Gaza barely fucking exists anymore. It's just a giant pile of rubble. And now they're doing the large-scale evacuation of the Palestinian population from fighting areas. That's another way of saying we are doing the ethnic cleansing and we are stealing the fucking land. If you ever wondered, how would modern media cover the Native American genocide and the Trail of Tears? Well, now you know. This is exactly what they would do. U.S. says it's setting up a security corridor by taking areas in the middle of the country and putting pressure on the Native Americans to give up the hostages. And meanwhile, it's just literally Trail of Tears, genocide, wipe them all out. Notice how, just the way language can be used to justify the unjustifiable really is mind-boggling, isn't it? And a lot of people are fucking cheap. And they read it, and they fall for it. Mr. Katz said the operation would clear out militants and infrastructure and seize large areas that will be added to the security zones of the state of Israel. Why are we still playing this game? Motherfucker, Israel is bombing Lebanon. Israel is bragging about stealing South Syria up to Damascus illegally, literally on the brink of conflict with Turkey. And this whole time, it's, small bean. I'm just a small bean. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just establishing a security corridor by carpet bombing children and killing women and sniping children in the face and kicking people off their land and permanently building a settlement. And at this point, I don't even know why they bother to do this tap dance with the language, because the fact of the matter is, you guys did it. You did it. Donald Trump is president. There's not even any fake rules for you anymore. He literally came out in his speech and said, we're going to own Gaza. We're going to take Gaza. We're going to own Gaza. Why are you even bothering at this point? The world doesn't believe you. The world doesn't believe you. They see through this. They know exactly what this is. You have destroyed the whole notion of international law. That's what you did. You destroyed it. It no longer exists. And I don't know about you, but I don't like living in a world where might makes right is actually the rule. Because guess what? We're always going to be in a position at one point or another where we're not the strongest. We don't have the most muscle. And wouldn't you like some appeal to reason and humanity? No, they want to throw that all out, and they want to go back to, 1800 style mentality, and it's might makes right, and we get to steal your territory, we get to kill however many of you want, and you can shut the fuck up about it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a dark time. It's a fascist time. We are living through a fascist genocidal era. Finally, I'll leave you with this. I like this comment here. The word for this is annexation, and the tactic is ethnic cleansing. Somehow, those words are missing from this article. They have been starving and mass murdering people so they can steal the land, and there has never been any other intent to this than that. That's exactly right. I mean, I still remember the first time Israel bombed a hospital in Gaza. They bothered to mount a propaganda effort to try to spin it and lie about it. And they say, it wasn't us. It was an Islamic Jihad Palestinian rocket that misfired and hit the hospital. I'm not kidding. This was a big thing. I don't know how many of you guys remember it, but that's what happened. And I remember looking at it and going, that's not true. That doesn't add up. And then there was a second hospital bombing. Then there was a third hospital bombing. Then we literally got up to, there has been over 20, maybe even over 30 hospital bombings. And at a certain point, they just gave up. Don't try to justify it. Don't try to spin it. Don't try to say, actually, they did it. Don't try to jujitsu it. They just gave up. And guess what? The media didn't even fucking talk about it. And so then, you learn through these, human rights organizations X number of schools have been bombed. X number of hospitals have been bombed. There are pictures of kids who got sniped in the head. American doctors who worked in Gaza come back and say, I've never seen anything like this. This is like Nazi atrocity level shit. They banned medicine from going in there, so kids were having legs and arms amputated with no anesthesia, right? All of this was going on, and it just continues. It just continues. The U.S. doesn't pull the funding. The U.S. doesn't pull the weapons. The international community can't drag these assholes out of there in handcuffs. And it just makes you realize the law is kind of fake. If we're not actually going to enforce it, if we're not actually going to hold people accountable for their vicious, brazen war crimes, the law's fake. It is fake. And it's a real eye-opening moment for people where it seems like if you have enough money, or if you're powerful enough, or if you have the right connections, the rules simply don't apply. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can massacre an entire group of people, hundreds of thousands. And it's fine. You're invited to the White House right now. Netanyahu's in the White House. Got invited to the White House. Historically evil figure. He's getting the red carpet fucking rolled out for him. My tax money, your tax money. Not okay with it. Not even close to okay with it. So, free Palestine, arrest the war criminals, sanction Israel. You saw the poll. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not sugarcoat it. The overwhelming majority of Israelis want to see the ethnic cleansing happen. Only 3% are against it. We just covered the poll on the show the other day. At this point, it's a nation of psychopaths. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what it is. Right? We all need to call it out for what it is. We need to cut off the money. We need to cut off the weapons. We need to sanction them. We need to arrest the fucking war criminals. For the future of humanity, we cannot let this stand. Period. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.